Today on Tabletop for One, we will explore dungeons, roll dice, and avoid danger as we play Dungeon Pages. And so I thank you very much for joining me on Tabletop for One. We are going to explore Dungeon Pages. I will do a solo playthrough. Dungeon Pages is designed by Greeno and Jason Tagmire. This is a print and play game. I was provided with a review copy. And so all you have to do to set up is pick one hero and one set of the dungeons. And so this is Cliff Drop City. And I have picked Sigrid as my hero. Now on the hero card here, you have your health. Right now, I have a total of 10 health as indicated by that first row at the top. As you unlock more health via health potions, you'll put a check mark in each of these boxes to indicate that. You're going to gain experience throughout the game depending on how well you do in the dungeons. And sometimes you'll find weapons or relics and you'll be able to unlock those and use them in the dungeons. And so with the dungeons here, we have this setup here. There are 4 small dungeons, and you must complete all 4 of them before you head into the boss dungeon. At the bottom of the board here, you have the different monsters. So we have orcs, as indicated by this symbol here, a frozen guardian, as indicated by the skull symbol there, and hunting spiders are the boss creature, which we'll encounter in the final dungeon, indicated by the spider here. And then there are some spike traps that are shown throughout the dungeons here. Traps you have to disarm by placing a 6 on that spot, or you can risk and do what it says at the bottom. I'll go over that when it gets to that point. There are also wandering monsters, so anytime that you roll 2 dice or more of the evil dice and you get a pair, then you will encounter a wandering monster and take 1 damage. Alright, so there's different stats for each of the monsters here. The orc will do 1 damage on an evil roll of 5 or more. He has 4 defense, 2 health, and he grants 1 experience. The frozen guardian, on a roll of 4 or more, will do 1 damage. Has 3 defense, 2 health, and will award 2 experience. Also, it says, if 1 or more guardians damage you this turn, discard 1 unused good die this turn. And then we have the hunting spiders. On a roll of 4 or more, they'll do 1 damage. They have 5 defense, 2 health, and they grant 3 experience each. And it says that if this monster is triggered, decrease all good dice by 2. Okay, so when you play this game, you're going to be starting from one door and trying to make your way to the treasure chest. And so as you do this, you're going to be rolling dice, placing the numbers down, sometimes manipulating the dice, and trying to trace all the way to the treasure. Now, in order to gain the treasure and gain all experience for the dungeon, you must make a path, an orthogonally adjacent path, that goes in sequential order. In other words, each number in the line has to be 1 more or 1 less or the same as the one before it and after it. Okay? So like if I wanted to make it all the way to this treasure chest here, I would have to do something like this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 4. And so each of these numbers is either 1 more or 1 less or equal to than the ones next to it. All right? And there's various treasure and, of course, monsters throughout the dungeons. So in order to damage a monster, you must put a dice value that's equal to or higher than their defense. So in this particular dungeon here, we have an orc. His defense is 4, and so we have to place a 4 or higher orthogonally adjacent next to it. Diagonal does not count. To gain any loot in the dungeon, like the coins, the potions, and the keys, in order to gain those, you must have 2 of the same number next to those loot tiles. So in other words, if I wanted to gain this double coin down here, I would maybe have a 4 and a 4 on each side, or a 6 and a 6, something like that. Again, it's got to be orthogonally adjacent, not diagonally. Also, it doesn't matter if you put a third number next to it and it's not part of that pair. So if I do a 3 here and a 6 here and later a 3 here, then I still gain that loot. And anytime you gain the loot, you're going to circle it. And anytime you use the loot, you're going to cross it out. And so in the coins here, you'll cross these out one at a time as you use them. And so the different loot grants you different abilities. The keys, of course, will unlock various locked doors. There's one right there. And there's one down here. The coins will adjust a die +1 or -1. And the health potions will grant you another health section on your board. There are teleport potions, which lets you treat like a locked door or a wall as an empty space, and you're able to put a number there. And then the poison potion here will let you place a number 4 next to an available spot that you can place. All right, so that gives kind of the overview here. Usually in the boss dungeon, there's special rules regarding how to encounter that dungeon. And we'll go over that when we get to the boss room. As you begin, you only have your one weapon, and your one weapon is indicated here. It's the bear claw. And so the bear claw has a range of 1, and it can go orthogonally. So what that means is that you can go one space away from the door or from another number you've written down orthogonally adjacent. So if we're starting this dungeon here and I roll a 4, I could put a 4 there. And then the next die that I can use can go here, here, or here because those 3 spaces are orthogonally adjacent. And as you write numbers as you go, let's say my next turn now with this setup here, I now have this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and that one available to put a die value in there. Later on, I might unlock some other weapons. The knuckle blades will give you diagonal access. And so diagonal access would be something like if I had a number here, I could write a number diagonally here. There are some restrictions to diagonal movement. So you couldn't go, like let's say you had a number here, you could not put a number here without making your way around this switch. So you can't cross that threshold there. In the rule book, there are quite a few examples to give you a good idea of how that works. There is a situation here. Let's say I had put a 4 here and a 4 here and activated this switch. Then now I could do a diagonal one here because I had cleared that space by activating it, or if it was a monster killing it, that sort of thing. All right, so I think we're ready to go. And so the way it works, when you set up, you're going to have 3 each of white and black dice. All right, you automatically get 1 white die as part of your roll. Now up here at the top, it tells you how many black dice you're going to add when you go to that dungeon. So if we go to this dungeon here, then it'll be 1 black die. If we go to this one, it'll be 2, this one 2, this one 1, and this one 3. The mark here showing the star and the 2 dice in it is to remind you of wandering monsters, because if you roll a pair with your evil dice, then you encounter a wandering monster. All right, so I think we're just going to go ahead and go to the abandoned tavern here, and we're going to start off. And so you start off, just roll the dice. And so the first thing that you want to check is if the monsters that are in here are going to attack you based off of the evil die roll. And so the evil die is a 4, but the orc down here activates on a 5. So he's not going to activate this turn. So I'm safe. And so I can go ahead and fill in some of the squares. And so I've got to start first the 1 space away from the door. And I think I will do a 1 there. Sorry, my pen's not working. All right, a 1 there. And then now I got to put the 4 somewhere next to that. And I think I will go ahead and put the 4 here. Because I'm going to try and do the sequential order here going that way. So I'm not worried about going down this way with that 4 out of order. And then we'll go ahead and roll again. All right, we got a 6 and a 4. I want to keep in mind that this monster's defense is 4. So I need to put 4s or more next to it, which is no problem with this roll here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 4 here. And then I'll put the 6 down here. And that's the end of that roll. All right, so now we have an evil die roll that's 5 or greater. So Orc is going to do 1 damage to me. So you just go over here and you cross out 1 of your health. And then you proceed with your turn. So now I have a 6 and a 4. So I can put the 4 here. And that's going to kill off the Orc. Because now I've done 2 damage to him. He has 2 health. So the 4 here does 1 damage. The 4 here does another damage. And he is dead. And with that 6, I can actually go ahead and disarm this trap. Normally, if you don't disarm the trap, it says when marked, re-roll the most recently activated die. You can use abilities to modify this roll. If this result is 3 or more, take 2 damage and discard that die. Well, thankfully, we are actually disarming the trap here, so we're able to put a 6 there with no consequence. We're ready for the next roll. And we've got a 1 and 4. Thankfully, now we got that 1 there, so we can bring the 1 over here. And then I think I'll just put the 4 in the corner here because I don't really want to use it. And one thing I failed to mention was that each hero comes with an ability. So this ability here says that sacrifice a good die to increase a die by up to 2. So if I wanted to, I could have sacrificed this one to make this one a 3, but that's not useful for me at this moment. So we're going to the next roll. 2 and a 6. Okay, we do not have any more monsters in the dungeon, so I'm in no danger of this particular die roll being a 6. So it doesn't affect me, but it's actually pretty nice. This is actually a really good roll for me, because I can put the 6 right here, and now I have collected this loot here, because I have a 6 and a 6 orthogonally adjacent next to it. That's a pair, and so I've collected that loot. On top of that, I can keep my order going here by putting the 2 here. All right. Next roll. Got a 2 and a 4. So I think we'll go ahead and keep the 2 going down here towards the treasure chest. And we'll put the 4 over here, head in that direction. A 3 and a 5. So you obviously want to put the 3 here to keep our sequence going. Let's put the 5 here, and we'll see what happens next. All right, 6 and a 1. So the 1 we can put right here, granting us this coin. And I guess we'll go ahead and put the 6 right here, and hopefully we'll be able to gain that health potion. A 1 and a 4. So this is the time where I'm going to go ahead and use my ability. So I'm going to sacrifice this die to increase this one by 2, making it a 6, which I can place next to the health potion, and I get the health potion. I'm going to go ahead and cross out that health potion and add it to my health total. So now we have a 1 and a 5. So what I'm going to do here is I need to keep the sequence going. So I'm going to use a coin here to make that 1 into a 2, and then we're going to put the 5 up here next to the key. 2 and a 6. Once again, I'm going to use a coin. This time we're reducing the 6 by 1 to make it a 5. And now we've collected the key, so we can use that later in one of the other dungeons. And now 2 here. And so we're at this point right now that no matter what, we're going to finish the dungeon. Once you complete any line, sequential or not, from the door to the treasure chest, the dungeon ends immediately. All right, lucky roll there. That gives us a 2, so we're going to go ahead and place the 2 there. And now I can show you here that we have completed a sequential line from the door to the treasure chest. Now we gain our experience. So you gain 1 experience for each of the columns that you have filled, all the empty spaces and traps. And we filled everything on this board. So that's going to be 6 experience right there. And then you get experience for the monsters you've killed. So this monster gives 1 experience per monster, so that's 7 total. And so we're going to mark that on here, and now I have 7 experience. Since I made a sequential line to the treasure chest, I gain either a weapon or a relic that is at my experience level. So I have 7 experience right now. So the only thing I can gain is the knuckle blades. So we'll go ahead and gain that. You don't spend the experience, you keep the experience, but you only gain a relic or weapon the moment this happens. If you don't have enough experience to gain it, you do not gain it later. It's lost. Also, if you reach any of the thresholds here below, you automatically mark them. The first one's going to grant an extra die, next one a health potion, next one a reroll, and next one another die, and the last one -1 defense to the monsters. Okay, so now we've completed that room. And so now we want to go ahead and decide which of the next rooms we want to tackle. And I think I want to go ahead and tackle, I really think I want to tackle this one, the forest hut. So that's going to include the additional evil die. So now we have 3 dice to use, but we run the risk of running into wandering monsters. Also, the chances of the enemies activating is higher. So we're going to roll there. And so I have a 4, 2, and a 6. So right off the bat, we are going to go ahead and have to activate the monsters. The Frozen Guardians are going to deal 1 damage each to me. So even though it's only 1 die that activates, all of the monsters activate if their threshold is met. And of course, if 1 more Guardians damages me this turn, discard 1 unused good die. So there goes that 4. So now I just have the 2 and the 6. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and place the 2 right here. And then I'm going to use my knuckle blades to do a diagonal placement, place a 6 right there. I'm hoping to place a 6 here on the trap. And so with the 6 there and there, I will gain the health potion. All right, we're ready to roll again. 5, 5, 6. Oh, that's a bad roll. I mean, kind of good, but kind of bad. Okay. So first off, wandering monsters are going to hit. There's nothing to prevent that. Even if you adjust the dice with coins, the pair that encounters a wandering monster always activates. So I'm going to take 1 damage for the wandering monster. And I don't have enough dice to or enough coins to change the dice. I'm not sure that I would anyways, so we're going to take 2 more damage total from the 2 Frozen Guardians. Okay, because I was hit by the Guardians, I have to lose that good die. That's still okay. I have a 5 and a 5. So I'm going to place 1 here, but I want to put a 6 here. So I'm going to go ahead and use a coin. And we're going to place the 6 here. And so that will grant us the health potion. We can go ahead and use that, getting us another health bar there. All right, so let's go ahead and roll again. 1, 1, 6. It's not too bad, except we encounter a wandering monster. So we're going to take another damage. But we're going to go ahead and use the 6 diagonally in the locked space here. And so that means that we got to use our key. And then we'll place the 1 here and the 1 here. And we're all set. Oh no. So 5, 5, 6. That means the enemies are going to activate. So we take 2 damage. We'll lose the good die. But at least we will be able to get rid of this Frozen Guardian here. And he's dead. Oh my goodness. These rolls are horrible. So the Frozen Guardian, well, first of all, the Wandering Monster hits me. So that's 1 because we got a pair of 5s there. The Frozen Guardian's going to activate. So that's another hit. Just 1 because we killed the other one. And we lose the 6 there. So at this point, and I'm really not going to get sequential numbers out of this either, because I didn't position myself in a good way with these numbers. Wow. I could just end the dungeon now, because I could place a 5 here, which will give me these 2 coins. However, I think I'm going to continue because I want to get that key. Even though I won't get any experience, I want that key. So we're going to try and go for it. There we go. That's a better roll. Okay, so we're going to do a 3 here, a 2 here, and a 6 here, and that's going to kill that Frozen Guardian. We just want to get him to stop hurting me. 4, 3, 4. All right. Oh, this is really good. So we can do a 3 here, a 4 here, and using our knuckle blades, we can go diagonally and put a 4 here, granting us the key. And then the final roll here, doesn't matter which one we place. We're going to go ahead and put a 6 there, and that's going to end that room. So we don't gain any experience because neither of these lines are sequential. So, but we still gain the items that we gained. So we still have a couple coins and a key. All right, so I got to choose a third dungeon to explore now. I'm also very aware that I only have 5 hit points left before I die. So I got to be careful what I do next. I think I'm going to go to the Haunted Cottage and try my luck there. All right, so it just requires 1 evil die. So we're back down to 2 dice. And there's only 1 Frozen Guardian here, so it shouldn't be too bad to deal with. I got to remember that I do have 2 coins here to help mitigate some of the rolls with the evil die, possibly. Here we go. It's going to start off just like that, huh? So I'm definitely going to take 1 damage right away from the Frozen Guardian, and I had to get rid of the good die. But that gives us a 6 to start with, and I think we'll head this way. So we're going to do 6 there. Hopefully we can kill that Frozen Guardian before he kills us. Oh my goodness, this is not getting any better. I'm just going to go ahead, sorry, got to take another damage, lose the good die, and we'll put the 6 here. Again, using knuckle blades, which lets me go diagonally there. There we go, that's better. Alright, so we'll put the 4 here, dealing 1 damage to him. I think what I want to do is actually turn this into a 2. We'll see if this works out for me later, but we'll turn that into a 2 using a coin and put the 2 here. My goal right here is to go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if I can. Oh no! We are taking damage again from the Frozen Guardian, losing the good die, but at this point we will be able to kill him and he can cause no more damage. So we've got some safe exploration for now. Let's just see if we can get the numbers that we want. 5 and a 5. We'll go ahead and put a 5 here and a 5. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change my mind on that. I'm going to put the 5 diagonally here and the 5 diagonally here. That way I can go ahead and get that coin and maybe I can use it for what I need to do. All right, a 3 and a 4. So I think I have a good possibility of having a sequential path going this way. I'll need like a 5 or 6 here, you know, some 5s or 6s here, and so on. So perhaps I shouldn't even care about a sequential path this way. So I think what I'll do is go ahead and put the 4 here and gain a coin. Alright, snake eyes. Well, those are just going to get in our way. But let's go ahead and put the 1 here and the 1 here. Alright, a 3 and a 6. This is actually really good for us right now because we need a 6 for this spot here for the trap. So that we've disarmed the trap. And the 3 we just need to put in a place that's not going to affect us on our sequential path, and I'll just place it there diagonally from the 6. Alright, a 5 and a 4. That works out well. We can put the 4 right here, and then let's go ahead and put the 5 right here. So now we just need a couple 5s here, or a 5 and a 4 maybe, something like that. Not forgetting that I do have this ability here to sacrifice a good die to increase the die by 2. Oh, alright. So we got a 5 and a 6. We'll put the 6 here and the 5 there. I'm really hoping we can get that health potion before we have to finish this dungeon, but we'll see how that turns out. Okay, so a 2 and a 4. So I think the best thing to do right here is to use one of the coins to take that 2 and make it a 1. And we're going to place that 1 right here, getting us the health potion. And finally we get some extra health. Now the 4 we can place, if we place it here, we're done. But we create a sequential path. The only thing is we're not going to get a lot of experience if we do that. We'll get 1, 2, and then 2 from the Frozen Garden, so that's 4 experience. We really want some more experience, especially if we're trying to get this health potion here, which gives us, which costs 13 experience to get. And possibly a relic, which the minimum one is 12 experience. So we definitely want some more experience. So I think I'm just going to put the 4 up here. All right, so a 2 and a 6. So if I put the 2 here, I've now created or completed 4 rows. And then if we put the 6 right here, that completes that column. And so now we've got a path, let's see if I can trace it properly here, to the chest that's sequential. 6, 5, 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. All right, so we've completed this dungeon here. We didn't get that last coin, but that's okay. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 experience there. So we'll add that to our total, bringing us to 14 experience. So we go ahead and gain the extra good die and the health potion. And so now we're up to 7 health. And on top of that, we can go ahead and gain a relic since we completed a sequential path, and we're going to gain the Rune Shield here. The Rune Shield ignores 1 damage, or 2 damage if I have a 4 die in my pool. And you can use relics 3 times, or as many times as it has charges on the right here, but this particular relic can be used 3 times. And there you go, we finished the 3rd room. And so we're going to go on to the 4th and final room, the Alchemy School. This requires 2 evil dice, but we also have our new extra good die. And the monsters we're going to be encountering are the orcs in this room. So they're only going to do damage on a roll of 5 or more. There's also a possibility of wandering monsters. So we just got to be ready for that. And of course they're going to hit right off the bat. So let's see. So both of the monsters are going to hit. That's going to be 2 damage. I could use my Rune Shield right now, but I don't have a 4. But I'm just going to go ahead and take the damage for now. And so we have a 3, 6, 5, 6. So starting from the door here, the orc has 4 defense. I think it's time we go ahead and use our key. So we're going to use our key over here. And then we're going to open this locked door here, and we're going to place a 5 here. And then we're going to use a 3 here. We'll use the 6 and a 6 here. I think that'll work best for us. All right, 3, 5, 6, 3. So I'm going to go ahead and use a coin here and alter this die to be a 4. This will prevent both orcs from activating because they activate on a 5 or more. So I saved myself some damage there. I think we'll go ahead and do a 6 here, which will kill off that orc. Oh, I'm not sure what I want to do next. Wow, that's tough. I think I'm going to use the 4 here to kill off this orc, because they have 4 defense, so I did 2 damage to each of those. And then those 2 3s, I really want to have the chance to gain that poison potion right there. So I'm going to use the 3 here. Actually, you know what? I forgot. Let's use my ability. You sacrifice this 3 to turn this into a 5, which lets us place it right here and keep things sequential for now. Okay. Here we go. We got a 3, 2, 1, 5. So I think our best bet here is we sacrifice this good die to increase this one by up to 2. It's only going to increase it 1 to 6. And then we use the 6 here. And that gives us another health potion. So now we are full up on health potions. We have all the health that we can get. Cross that out there. And then where to put the 3 and the 1. I think we're just going to line them up on this side because we're going to try and complete our sequential path down here along the spikes, which I think is very doable with Sigrid's ability. So here we go. We got a 6, 5, 3, 2. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the 6 right here. Okay, so 6 is done. Then I'm going to sacrifice this good die to increase this one by 2, making it a 4. And we'll use the 4 here. Then we have a 3 left. Oh, by the way, that 4 gives us that poison potion used later. We have a 3 left, so I'm going to use that diagonally from this 3 here to go right here. There's a 5 here. This, of course, is not going to activate. I killed both of the orcs, so it's just up to me what I want to use here. Now, I do have a 3, which I can place next to this warp potion. And that'll give me the warp potion. And then I have the 2 5s. So I think I'll sacrifice this 5 to increase this one by 2. Making it a 4 and going right there, getting 2 coins. And then that last 5 I'll stick up in this corner. It's a little risky here. All right, and then we're on to our final roll for this room. Wow. Well, it worked out for me, except for the fact that we got a pair of evil dice. That's going to take 1 damage on me there. But we did get the 6 that we needed here, and so we place it right here. By the way, once you complete a path from the door to the treasure chest, you end the dungeon immediately. I think I mentioned that before, but I can't place anything here. Alright, and so for this dungeon, as we've completed a sequential line here, we will gain loot. We also gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 experience, plus 1, 2 from the monsters, making a total of 7. That's going to bring us to 21 experience, which will grant us the extra reroll here. And then we'll gain the weapon or relic, and the only one we can afford is the Warhammer for 15 experience. The Warhammer has the ability to break through walls, so in this next room here we might have a chance to break through the wall using a 5 or a 6. Okay, so we're off to the final boss room, the Everdark Castle. And we are going to encounter 3 spiders here. The spiders have 5 defense, 2 health. They activate on a 4 or more, dealing 1 damage each. And if they are triggered, decrease all good dice by 2. Furthermore, there are chasms in here, and the chasms, you can't write a number on them until you activate a lever and build a bridge over a chasm. And so in order to activate a lever, you have to have a pair adjacent to them, just like a normal item. Alright, so I think we're ready to start. Let's roll. Oh my. So we have 6, 6, 6, 3, 2. And so with that roll, that's going to go ahead and activate all the spiders. And so they're going to do 1 damage each. I think we'll use our runed shield to ignore one of those damages. So we'll take 1, 2, 3 damage. And then the good dice get reduced down to 2. Now we have 4, 4, 6, 3, 2. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and put a 4 here. And then I'm going to put a 4 diagonally here. And that's going to activate this switch, which we will be able to cross that out and build a bridge here. And now I can put a number here, and I'm going to put a 2 here, and then a 6 here. And then the last number, I think we'll just put the 3 right here. I'm not necessarily trying to go for a sequential order to get to the chest. You can do that to get bonus experience at the end to increase your score as kind of like a high score for this particular dungeon. I really just want to beat the level, so I'm not concerned about that. Okay, so now we are ready for our next roll here. And this one hurts. I can't afford this much damage. So I think what I should do here is I'm going to, well, first of all, the pair happens no matter what. We're going to get hit by the wandering monsters. But I think what I'm going to go ahead and do here is reduce this by a total of 3 by using 3 coins. So 2 there and then 1 down here. And that's going to bring this down to a 3. And that'll prevent the spiders from activating. So with that in mind, I do still want to try and kill this spider. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to sacrifice both these dice, right? So with my channeled rage here, sacrifice good die to increase another by 2. And so I'm going to sacrifice... Actually, I could just sacrifice this one to increase this one to a 5. That's what I'll do. And so we'll put the 5 here. And that's going to kill the spider. And then we can use that 2 there and the 2 here to activate this lever. And so we'll cross that out and we'll do the lever right here. Or we'll build the bridge right there. And then we have a 3 left over. Let's go ahead and build the 3 across the bridge. All right. Oh no. Once again, I'm going to get hit. And this one's going to hurt. So we take 1 damage from the wandering monsters, 2 damage from the 2 spiders, and actually we'll just go ahead and reduce one of those damages with our rune shield. So I only have 3 health left. And on top of that, this gets down to a 4, and then that stays as a 1. I don't know because this turned into a 4 now that I get to reduce 1 more damage with my rune shield. I think this effect happens after I take damage. So I blocked the damage before that became a 4. At least that's in my mind how it works. Hopefully the designer will correct me if it's different. Okay, so right now I definitely want to look at hurting the spider. So we're going to do a 5 here. And then we need to get across this spike trap. And so I can sacrifice this 1 to make it a 6. And we'll put the 6 here. And so we've used those 2, and now we have a 3 and a 3. I think what's best for me at this moment is to do the 3 and 3 here, gaining the 2 coins. And now we're ready for the next turn. So much better. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use one of these coins to reduce this down to a 3. That'll prevent the spiders from activating. And now, at this point, I can use 2 of these 3s. Actually, I apologize, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to sacrifice the good die to turn this one into a 5 so that we can kill off this spider. So we've used that 5, and now I have a 3, 2, 1. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sacrifice this die to make this a 4. I'm going to write the 4, actually right here. And then I'm going to use my poison potion, which lets me put a 4 adjacent to a space, and I'll put the 4 there. And then I'll use my final 1 to connect the path here. And we've activated this switch. And so with this switch, we can just go ahead and build a bridge right there. All right. Okay, so now the spider's going to activate, and he's going to do 1 damage. I'm going to go ahead and block the damage with the rune shield, so I don't take any damage. And then we are going to go and attack that guy. So we're going to use the 2, the 3, and the 4 to get across here. So 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to use the 5 and the 6 right here, killing off the final spider. Now we just need to survive until we connect that path to the treasure chest, which we should have no problem. We do take 1 damage from a wandering monster, bringing us down to 2 health. But at this point, we're going to go ahead and write the 5 here and the 5 here, and that's going to connect our path all the way back to the exit, and we win the game. And so there you have the solo playthrough of Dungeon Pages by Jason Greeno and Jason Tagmire. Please comment below and let me know what you think of the game. If you've played it yourself, which is your favorite character or your favorite dungeon. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel if you like the content you see here. And I thank you so much for watching Tabletop for One, and have a great night.